Today I'm joined by the #1 movie reviewer and the #1 Notre Dame fan.
I think the Eagles have the best roster in football.
It's just so hard to bet against Mahomes and Andy Reid. It's the best sports movies of all time.
If you had to say there was a universal #1 football movie pick, it's probably Remember the Titans.
It's Rocky IV. The Rocky movies. I gotta give the slight edge to Rocky IV. The training montage go up against the big bad guy towards the end. Welcome to Catching a Vibe. I'm your host Drew, and today I'm joined by the #1 movie reviewer and the #1 Notre Dame fan. Sorry, Shane Gillis. Great commercial, by the way.
Great commercial.
Willy B from Fast Times with Willy B. How are we doing today, Will?
Doing pretty good. Weather temperature's starting to go up a little bit.
Yeah.
So I like that. Now we just got to keep creeping up and
just keep on creeping
up. But it's nice that I can finally go outside without wanting to die. So
and my beard's not freezing on me.
It's been a rough January.
It has, dude. So my first question is: we're a week removed from the Natty. With you being a big Irish fan, how are you feeling?
God, that was a week ago. That feels like it was a year ago.
I know.
Obviously not the outcome I wanted as a Notre Dame fan. I wanted to beat Ohio State.
Right.
Every team wants their team to win it all.
Mm-hmm.
But I look at it and, I sent a comparison in a group chat we're in between the 12 years we had Brian Kelly and the 3 years we've had Marcus Freeman. And we have more bowl wins, more playoff wins. Brian Kelly was under 500 in top 25 matchups. Marcus Freeman's well above 500 in 3 seasons.
Mm-hmm.
So I look at it as like, yes, it sucks in the moment, but I don't think we're too far away.
No.
I think Freeman's got this program in the right trajectory. We did lose a couple in the transfer portal once the game ended, which I kind of assumed, but nobody that was projected to be a starter next year. So it's nothing that I think you should worry about. But I think Freeman's a good guy to have at the leadership of your program. It sounds like him and the new AD we got last year are both obsessed with the idea of doing whatever it takes.
Mm-hmm.
And then Shane Gillis, he said he's talked to his agent about doing a tour and wants to donate all the money to NIL for Notre Dame. I don't know how true that is, but it'd be pretty epic. I'll give him the #1 fan title if he does that for us.
Well, what if Fast Times with Willy B starts chipping in?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But it sucks because you watch all those playoff games just to come up short, but you got to look ahead like it was a great season.
Mm-hmm.
You've done a lot in just 1 year than the rest of your lifetime.
Yeah.
In my case, born in '99, Notre Dame's best years were before me. So I'm excited to see. I wish it was week 1 right now. I do. I'm excited for Notre Dame Miami, kind of rejuvenating the Catholic versus convict rivalry there in week 1. Then we get a bye week after that, and we play Texas A&M at home. So tough 1-2 punch off the rip, but at least we got the little bye in between to recoup. But I'm just eager for it to start again.
Yeah, I think
college football is my favorite.
Yeah. So now let's move to the NFL. The 2 games we had the Eagles Commanders, kind of blowout.
Yeah.
Then the Bills and Chiefs was a great game, like it's been the past 3 years, but the Bills just can't get it done against the Chiefs. It sucks, dude.
It does suck, and I've been seeing all over the internet today, obviously, people upset with the officiating and the lack of first down call on that Josh Allen carry, which I do myself believe was a first down.
Mm-hmm.
But you also can't take away from the greatness.
Right.
It's unfortunate because obviously I think that's what drew so much to college football this year is we didn't see SEC in the championship.
Mm-hmm.
We saw Ohio State, Notre Dame, 2 blue bloods.
Yeah.
So it was cool, I'm with you. I'm tired of seeing the same team over and over, but you can't deny the greatness. Andy Reid, he's one of, if not the greatest coach of all time at this point, especially if he gets it done once again in 3-peats.
Yeah.
Patrick Mahomes, he hasn't even made it to a decade in his career, and he's already argued to be top 5 all time. Kelsey, he started slow. People were wondering if he was gonna slow down, and then he has a quiet 90 reception, 1,000 yards. I don't know if he hit 1,000 yards, but
he was close.
He was close, but he still put up, I think, 97 receptions quietly.
Yeah, great numbers for Titans, just not to his standard that we're used to.
He's in the conversation with Gonzalez and anybody else you want to throw in the conversation for best tight end. Yeah, Gronk, Shannon Sharp, anybody else you want to throw in there. So there's no denying the greatness this team is. I do feel for Josh Allen though.
Yeah.
I'm a big Josh Allen fan,
Mhm.
despite being a Browns fan.
Oh, he's awesome.
I always root for the Great Lake teams too, because Detroit, Cleveland, and Buffalo have always been the teams that have been through it the most. I feel
No
like,
doubt. No doubt.
and so I always pull for Buffalo. I was hoping for a Buffalo Detroit championship, obviously, since the Browns weren't sniffing the playoffs this year.
Mhm.
Buffalo was they were a play away, unfortunately, and it sucks, but I mean, good for the Chiefs.
Yeah. It's so funny too because everybody was like, once Brady and Belichick left, we're never going to see a dynasty like that again.
Yeah.
A 10 to 20 year run. Now here's the Chiefs. Not even 10 years in, they've gone to what, 4 Super Bowls?
Yeah.
5?
They've won 3, right?
Yeah. So
And
this will be. They
they
lost.
only lost to the Buccaneers, didn't they?
Yeah. So this will be Super Bowl 5.
Yeah, because they beat the Niners twice, and then they beat the Eagles once, and then lost to the Buccaneers. Yeah. So if they win, they're 4-1 in the last 6 years.
Yeah.
With 2 wins over the Eagles and 2 wins over the
This is like
Niners.
the NBA in the 90s. Jordan just knocking everybody.
Yeah,
All those great players never having a reign, like Barkley.
Yeah.
So
it just gets hard because it's not even like, well, Mahomes kind of made it hard for him to root for himself this year with some of the flops he was having. But it's more the media that just makes it hard to root for them because of the glazing. I mean, somebody makes a surreal play and it can't go without being compared
that
to
looks like Mahomes there.
Yeah.
Then the Taylor Swift, just everybody has to show her every 5 seconds during the game, which is annoying.
It's unfortunate, but I am rooting for the Eagles.
Yeah.
I'm a big Saquon fan.
Oh, Saquon.
When you're a Browns fan, you start rooting for players across the league. So like I said, I'm a big Josh Allen fan. He is one of my favorite quarterbacks in this league. I still root for Baker. Wish he never left. But
ain't that the truth?
Saquon, I'm a big fan of Saquon. I'm happy for him because he got out of a bad situation and went to probably as good of a situation as you can get.
Yeah.
And I think he was just that missing piece over there in Philly.
Oh, absolutely.
So I'm excited to see what he does. 2,000-yard season with Philadelphia. That's awesome. And I mean, if anybody, deserves it, he's one that's put in his time. He was fun to watch in college. I know. Obviously, you probably didn't think the same as a
didn't love him so much.
Fan, but
didn't love him so much.
But I mean, you can't argue that he
is
was one of the best to ever do it in college, especially when it came to like all purpose. I mean, he was a hell of a returner, and then obviously you can see what he does with that backfield. He's still doing that. So I'm rooting for him, and obviously I have the Mount Union ties with Nick Sirianni, so always got to root Purple Raider,
Yeah, I remember Adrian Peterson after Saquon's rookie year. He's like he could go down as the greatest. So
yeah.
Saquon, couple years in a row, he got bad injuries.
Yeah.
Everybody's writing him off. Then he's finally healthy. He has a good team.
Yeah.
He gets 2,000 yards. He's a beast, and he's
the backwards hurdle alone.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any other person in this world that can make a play.
No.
Like that. I think that's a one of one.
Yeah, I don't think that will ever be done again.
No. I don't think he could do it again.
I don't know how in his mind he was like, here, let me jump backwards and hurdle this guy. Yeah. Seriously, as a guy that has played football.
That's a play where, like, even if you're the most humble person, you're getting up. You're like, did you see that?
Yeah. Like, I'm posting this on the gram.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Like, that's one of those plays,
Yeah.
So I'm rooting for him.
So you think, do you want the Eagles to win, or do you believe the Eagles are going to win?
Before the playoffs started, I do want the Eagles to win, but backing up what I'm about to say, before the playoffs started, I thought the Bills and the Eagles were the only 2 teams that could beat the Chiefs.
I agree.
And the Bills came up short. I think the Eagles have the best roster in football.
100%.
So I do think the Eagles will win. I don't think the Chiefs have no chance. I think this is like the 2 best teams probably in the league going at it. So they got it right.
Yeah,
if you're talking about playoffs, but
true.
I do think the Eagles can win. I want them to win. I do feel like they will. It's just so hard to three-peat in the NFL.
It is.
And I mean, they're a game away, but I just feel like there's more at stake for the Eagles. I mean, you got Sirianni, who was on the hot seat at the end of last year.
Right.
Jalen Hurts, people were like, is he a quarterback that can do it? Saquon comes over. He has something to prove. He wants that ring. You have receivers galore, especially with your top 2. I think
their defense is nasty this year, dude.
I think they get it done.
Jalen Carter.
They got the Philadelphia Bulldogs over there.
Yeah, Jalen Carter, who many considered the next Aaron Donald.
Yeah.
I mean, they got the exciting whites.
Yeah, because they've got, 5 or 6 Georgia alum playing on that defense right now. I know Nakobe Dean's over there, Jalen Carter, Caleb
Jordan
Ringo,
Davis.
Jordan Davis, yeah. Yeah, they've got,
They're stacked. That's a
They're
great
stacked with
roster.
a defense that was full of players on the best college football defense for
Right.
years.
Right.
So it's no wonder it translated over, but it's working out for them, and I think they can get it done. I think they will, and I hope they do.
Score prediction for you.
Ooh, I'm gonna go 27-23.
27-23. I like that. I like that. For me, I think it's just so hard to bet against Mahomes and Andy Reid. And
Yeah.
that the Chiefs defense also is pretty freaking good.
It is.
And they haven't allowed a 100-yard rusher in the last 18 playoff games.
Yeah.
So I think they're going to stack the box against the Eagles, make Jalen Hurts beat him by throwing.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go Chiefs. I'm going to go 28-21.
Okay. All
Chiefs
touchdowns.
yeah.
All touchdowns.
Or maybe I should change that. No. We'll keep it.
7 touchdowns. I mean, I like it. I don't know. I know last time we had these two play, it was 38-35, wasn't it?
It was a high scoring
I just
game.
think both defenses are better this year, so I don't know if we hit the 30s, but
Right.
I think both offenses are too good to be held underneath the 20s.
Right.
So
No doubt. I agree with you.
yeah.
Our last segment here is the best sports movies of all time. We're just going to ramble out our favorite sports movies. You want to start off with one?
Do you want me to go in an order or just throw out there we talk about them?
Let's just throw out and talk about them.
All right, I'll start with football, and 2 that are in my top 5 for football, 100%, are Rudy and Remember the Titans.
I agree on Remember the Titans.
I
Not
figured
as big as Rudy.
Yeah.
Rudy's a good movie. Just Remember the Titans, dude. That is just so inspirational, motivational.
Yeah.
You got Denzel Washington as the coach.
Doesn't even feel like a Disney movie when you watch it.
No.
I always forget it's a Disney movie.
I do too.
Yeah, Remember the Titans is it's a classic. I think it's one of those movies, and we did on my channel a draft of football movies, and it was my first overall pick. And we talked about it. It's if you had to say there was a universal number 1 football movie pick, it's probably Remember the Titans. Now, my favorite is Rudy, obviously with Notre Dame ties. That was a movie that I've probably seen over 100 times. I watched it like weekly growing up when Charlie Weiss was just pushing out 6 and 6 seasons. That was my way of watching good Notre Dame football.
Yeah.
But it was just every time I watched it as a kid, I was like, every time I watch this, I want to run through a brick wall. Like it's just one of those movies for me. I watched it before the Notre Dame Ohio State national championship with my dad.
I remember you telling me that.
And I mean, first watch, 100th watch, it's a 10 out of 10 for me every time I watch it.
I respect it.
Yeah. But Remember the Titans is, I mean, I would say that's like the consensus pick for top football movie when you're talking like population.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely for me too. So, movie I want to talk about is Rocky 4. The Rocky movies. Just
I was going to say one of my top 5 was Rocky.
Just, I got to give the slight edge to Rocky 4, the training montage.
Yeah. Dude, the soundtrack in Rocky 4
is him fighting Drago after he killed his best friend Apollo.
Yeah.
So one of the craziest like surprises in movies, I think. Nobody really expected Apollo to die.
Yeah. I mean, when you talk about the Rocky movies, we'll stick to the first 4.
Yeah.
I think they're all great movies. We can both agree the third one's probably the weakest of the 4.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say so. It's still a good movie. I mean, Mr. T, if you ask my dad, that's
tag your dad on that clip. But I mean, 1 and 2, I mean, they just almost run together for me. I think they're both. I think 1 truly is a masterpiece. I have it on my list of perfect movies. 2, I don't think is too far behind. I actually have 4 ranked ahead of 2 if I'm ranking the 4 Rocky movies.
Yeah,
Rocky 4 is another. It's just up there, man. But I do give the nod to the first one. It's just that one. It's like there's something about it. It has a charm to it, like that 70s charm. Him like living in the grimy apartment. He's working out in the gym that's like just this like low budget gym. And he gets his name pulled from a book by Apollo Creed. He gets the big break, and it's
the
like
Italian stallion.
Yeah, it's just like there's something about it that it's the best for me of the 4. But Rocky 4 isn't too far behind. I do love Rocky 4 quite a bit. I listen to the soundtrack from Rocky 4 more than any Rocky movie, just because the training montage and the living in it, like all of it. Like there's no bad song on that soundtrack.
just when you go up against the big bad guy towards the end, just revenge. That's always going to hit
Yeah.
a spot for me, so I
Yeah.
had to put Rocky 4 in there.
Somebody told me, I can't remember who it was. It might have been Turbo, but somebody said Rocky 4 is just 2-hour music video war propaganda. And I was like, you're not wrong, but I love it. Like, I'm in. It's the best commercial ever made if that's the case.
For sure. It reminds me like Avengers Endgame, like that type beat. Like it's kind of similar going up against the big bad guy.
For sure. For sure.
What you got next, Willie?
So I'll hop over to baseball. And there's a lot of great baseball movies. I mean, some honorable mentions. You got Sandlot, Moneyball, 42. But my favorite baseball movie, people are going to be like, oh, it's just because he loves these teams. Major League, man.
Yeah, I figured you
that
were going
first
to say
Major League. I actually was on TikTok today. And ever since TikTok has been reinstated, I haven't really been like scrolling. I've been using it strictly for fast times. And I got on it today and I just scrolled for a little bit. And there was like a 2-minute video of like the top 10 Major League quotes, and they also threw in like 4 honorable mentions, and the whole time, all 14 of them, I just started cracking up.
That is a great, funny movie.
I would say it's probably the most quotable sports movie.
You
I mean,
think
just
so?
a bit outside. You got no. Marbles is from Major League 2. This was between the first 2 Major Leagues. The video I watched.
Okay.
But I mean, the commentator alone, you know, he delivers some of the best. When he can't find his notes, he's like, F it. And then give him the heater, Ricky. I guess we got to go win the whole effing thing.
Yep.
Like, there's just so many, like, iconic moments. My favorite quote, this was ranked pretty low on the list of the top 10. I think it was like 8 or 9. It's probably my favorite is, well, you may run like Hayes, but you hit like shit.
Yeah.
For when he's talking to Willie Mays Hayes at spring training.
Yes.
There's just, it's...
Who's this guy?
Yeah, it's another one I give a 10 out of 10. I'm not going to call it a perfect movie, but it's a 10 out of 10 for me. And it's just another one like Rudy. Every time I throw it on, I'm having the best time watching it. It's one that I'll never say no to watching.
Yeah.
Somebody's like, hey, do you want to watch Major League? I'm like, buckle up.
Yes. You want me to drive over too? I will make that drive.
Yeah, it's just one of those movies.
For sure. I like that one a lot. My next one is a movie you and me both love.
Okay.
That's the Iron Claw.
Oh, dude.
This movie got me back into wrestling.
Yeah.
I'm a big wrestling fan again.
Yeah.
Just a great story. Zac Efron, he got snubbed.
Oh.
I mean, it's sickening how
the whole movie got snubbed.
Yeah, the whole movie.
No Oscar noms, which is a sour subject right now because Academy, if you're listening, this is one of the worst nomination lists I've ever seen this year. And last year you left out the Iron Claw, so that's saying something. But yeah, man, it's a sad story, but it's just
very sad. It's
so well made, and I mean the final 15 minutes. I'm always thinking about that final 15 minutes with Carrie and the dream with his brothers, and then crying in the backyard. Like that final 15 minutes is like probably a series of scenes I think of like top 5 when you're talking overall cinema.
Wow,
like
top 5.
It's just a scene that always pops in my head. I'm like, damn.
Yeah,
like that was hard to watch.
I used to be your brother.
Yeah.
So sad.
Great movie though. Great movie though.
For sure.
That was probably my 5. I'm not really ranking them in order. I guess I'd really have to think about that. But I mean, I've already went through my 5.
Oh, true.
I started with the 2 football movies.
That is right.
We talked about Rocky already, so
Remember Titans was on my list for sure. My next one is The Sandlot. I mean, absolute classic.
Honorable mention for the baseball.
As a kid that grew up a baseball player, you throw that on. I love that movie. Special place in my heart.
The 4th of July scene is one of my favorite scenes in that movie. Just playing baseball under the fireworks is always something I wanted to do.
I wanted to try
because of that scene. I've always wanted to play baseball.
Very dangerous too, by the way. So maybe it was a good thing we didn't do that.
For sure. But like the stuff with the Great Bambino and the dog and connecting to history. James Earl Jones iconic in that movie. Yeah. Just the group of kids is perfect too with Squints and Ham. The s'more scene.
Yes.
You want a s'more? Some more what? Like it's another one that's very quotable.
Yes.
It's very quotable.
Are you talking about that wimpy deer?
Yeah.
Goated.
So good.
My next one, baseball, has like some of my favorites. And Moneyball is the movie I want to talk about.
That's right outside mine. Yeah.
It's just you're rooting for Billy, Brad Pitt, the whole movie. You see he got drafted and he fell short of expectations, and
Yeah.
now he's trying to lead the A's, who are like the Guardians that spend no money, and
Yeah.
they're going up against the Yankees signing everybody.
Yeah.
Just that run they went on. What was it? 27 games in a row they won.
I think it's
22, 23,
Yeah,
something like that.
The Indians beat it, or they got close. They tied it.
Yeah,
So whatever I think the Indians only got to 22. So maybe it was 22. It was in the 20s.
yeah.
It was a hell of a streak.
Oh yeah.
Something you don't see very often.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's only happened twice in our lifetime.
Right.
Which I don't think it's happened in baseball like more than 3 times. So the fact that it's happened twice in our lifetime is pretty cool.
That is pretty cool.
No, Moneyball. So my list was like a mixture of movies that I think are very well made and a mixture of movies that I just find a lot of enjoyment in.
Mm-hmm.
When you're talking about well made, this is one of the sports movies that's towards the top for sure. It's by definition a great movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's such a cool story too. Another reason why I always root for the low budget teams, obviously being a Cleveland fan, I'm always going to root for the guys that have the disadvantage. I mean, Cleveland almost had their little run this postseason last year. That was really fun. But yeah, I mean, Brad Pitt was great. Jonah Hill was great.
Jonah Hill, yes.
Philip Seymour Hoffman, I feel like isn't talked enough as the head coach of the A's. I thought he was awesome. Chris Pratt as Scott Hatteberg. It's so funny because growing up, one of my favorite video games was MVP Baseball 05. And Scott Hatteberg was in that game, and he was pretty good in that game. And so when Moneyball came out and I found out Scott Hatteberg sucked and like got his big break and like was injured and all that, I was like, I only knew MVP 05 Scott Hatteberg. I didn't know he had this backstory. I was like, I just knew he was loaded at first base in a video game as a kid. So that was cool too, like having a little connection with that. But just when you're watching it too, because that movie came out when what year was that movie? Early 2010s, right?
Or was it 2010?
It might have been 2010. So I'm like either like a preteen or a young teenager, and just hearing all of those names and just it shoots like memories of watching these players. Like when Johnny Damon left the A's for the Red Sox, I'm like, I remember Red Sox because I was too young to watch the actual Moneyball team.
Right.
I mean, that was like 2002, 2003, so I was like 3 or 4 years old.
Same here.
But like hearing Johnny Damon going to the Red Sox, I'm like, I remember him on the Red Sox, not the A's. Or hearing, Giambi leaving and all of these players like going to bigger teams, and it was like, man, I have memories with like these players with where they ended up after Oakland. And so that was cool too. It's just one of those ones that's, again, always a good watch. I'll probably never.
You don't even have to be a baseball fan to enjoy that movie. So
it makes you want to get like a sports analytic degree, though.
Yeah, it does.
It's just like makes you want like, oh, I could do Moneyball.
I could do it. This guy gets on base every time.
I play the show and I'm like, who has the highest OBP?
Right.
Carlos Santana, sign him.
Yeah. For the 4th time with the Guardians.
I'm excited he was always my favorite player, so bring him back.
My next one, I have Creed. Like, what a great reboot. I'm a sucker for boxing movies, if you can't tell. I love Creed. I love Rocky. Southpaw with Jake Gyllenhaal is great.
Cinderella
but Creed,
Man is another great one.
Yes. Just Michael B. Jordan. He's one of my favorites of all time. He kills it in this role.
Yeah.
Donnie.
I actually didn't watch the Creed movies when they first came out until Creed 3. I watched 1 and 2 before 3 came out, and then we all watched 3 together. And so I kind of wish I had the theater experience on them, but I still enjoy the Creed movies quite a bit. We have this debate in our group chat all the time, Creed or Rocky, and I'm always fighting an uphill battle because you and Corey team up together on the Creed front. But
I said Creed was better.
Aren't you a big? I thought you thought Creed was better. I
never said Creed was better.
Maybe it's somebody else then, but
I think Creed's really good though.
Yeah, Creed is really good. I think Corey just gets mad at me because I have 1, 2, and 4 all have had any Creed movie.
That's debatable for me. That's debatable for me.
That's where you joined in with Corey and saying like you. That's it. I think you said I agree. Like, I think you might have said Rocky 4, which you have on your list, is better than the Creed movies.
Yeah.
But Creed is your second, which makes sense on this list.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do really like the Creed movies though. Because in an era where we're getting a lot of reboots and remakes that fall on the other side of the spectrum, it's always nice to get a good one.
For sure.
And I like all 3 of them. I mean, I think I'd go 1, 3, 2 if I had to rank them.
I would agree 100%.
But I enjoy all three of them.
Yeah,
I
no doubt.
think all three of them are better than Rocky 5 and 6, and I'd probably say even better than Rocky 3.
Yeah,
Tag your dad in that too. I just love Rocky 1, 2, and 4. I mean, Rocky 1 is like one of my favorites of all time. But that's not taken away from the Creed movies. I do wish we got some Stallone in the third one though.
Oh, I do too. I was kind of like waiting for it. I was like, please, Rocky, come out. Especially after his mom died, I kind of figured he would like get a call from Rocky, maybe. Just I don't know. I didn't. Well, Sylvester and I forget who is. They butt heads, so that's why he wasn't in the third one.
I love Michael B. Jordan though.
Yeah, he's great.
Yeah, he's great in all three of these movies. He's great in Black Panther. I'm excited for his movie coming out this year.
Sinners.
Yeah.
I just saw the trailer for that.
Comes out my birthday weekend.
Nice.
Yeah.
I like that.
So, and that's Ryan Coogler directing it. So
great director
exactly.
too.
Yeah.
So my last two movies, they're fun movies. Happy Gilmore. I mean, you can't go wrong. Classic. Sandman at his finest.
Yeah, I was gonna say any Adam Sandler sports movie is just a good time.
Right.
Happy Gilmore,
Waterboy,
Longest Yard.
Yeah.
I would say Happy Gilmore is my favorite of the three, though.
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah. I'm a big Happy Gilmore fan.
I think Waterboy was more funnier when you were a kid. Now,
yeah, I think maybe too. It's just like the overabundance of football movies versus the lack of golf movies. Like when you're talking about golf movies, Happy Gilmore might be top 3 for me.
Yeah,
because there's just, I mean, Caddyshack.
I've
heard great things about Tin Cup, but I've never seen it.
I've never seen that either.
So Happy Gilmore is probably my second right now.
It's locked in.
I might put Happy Gilmore ahead of Caddyshack. I mean, they're both comedies, so it's like you can't put them up against a movie like The Iron Claw or Moneyball. But yeah, man, Happy Gilmore is great. Yeah.
And my last one, Coach Carter, another motivational movie.
Yes.
Basketball, maybe the best basketball movie.
Probably.
Space Jams.
I like Coach Carter more than Space Jam. I like Coach
Samuel
Carter.
L. Jackson kills it in this too.
Oh yeah, it might be my favorite basketball movie now I'm thinking about it. Because I've never seen Hoosiers, which is crazy.
I've never seen it either.
Because I'm pretty sure it's the same director as Rudy.
Is it?
Yeah.
Wow.
But I've never seen it. Yeah, Coach Carter's probably. I mean, White Men Can't Jump's great, but I'd still go Coach Carter. Like you said, Space Jam. I'd still go Coach Carter.
Yeah.
You got Basketball.
Yes.
I'd still go Coach Carter. That Adam Sandler movie Hustle was pretty good.
Oh, but
I'd still go Coach Carter.
Yeah, I agree. 100%.
Yeah, it's probably my favorite basketball movie as well.
Facts. Well, Willie, I think that's going to wrap up the video. Appreciate you.
Thank you for having me.
Coming on.
It was a good time.
Thank you guys for watching. Please, if you enjoyed the video, give it a like and subscribe, and check out Willie's channel, the #1 movie reviewer. Come on, guys. All right. We'll see you next time. Peace.
Peace.